Today is June 21st. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on Claves Online, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganast St. Louis Acura. I am Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey, who is not yet down at the lake out at Ballparks National, but Rammer, 1 week from today, we'll be doing our show live together, I believe, or at least that's the plan out at Ballparks National, as I'll be making my first trip out there for a youth baseball tournament.
Excited to have you. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll end up probably being our second biggest event of the whole year. Traditionally, it is, but last week we had 110 teams in our biggest event ever. The local newspaper, the Lake Expo, said we drove $5 million of revenue through the Lake of the Ozarks. So we're very excited. Summer's going good, and it'll be balling and brawling next weekend, and with some real professional wrestlers on hand. It'll be a lot of fun.
How much of that $5 million went into the bank account of Bob Ramsey?
Let me think. Oh, zero.
Yeah. But it's nice of them to let you know how much you made for everybody else.
Yes.
Last night, a very emotional, very historic game the Cardinals played in down at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, as they defeated the Giants 6-5. Once it was all said and done, the result of the game was just another win for the Cardinals as they try to make their way to becoming an above 500 team. But just so much of the presentation of the game, the pregame ceremonies, the things they were showing and talking about during the game is really what made it so special. And if you hadn't had a chance yet to watch our show from yesterday, and I say watch our show yesterday because I know a lot of people will listen to the podcast, but go onto our YouTube page, go to our Facebook page, and watch the show yesterday. We had Mike Claiborne on, who was down at Rickwood Field yesterday, and Rammer, I don't know how much you have talked to him about the game or this leading up to it, but every week we talk about, his upcoming schedule, and we had kind of mentioned it, and it was always just seemed like something in passing, like, oh yeah, we have the game in Alabama, and he would just talk about it. And I would imagine after seeing how emotional he got yesterday talking about the game, I think a lot, and maybe for a lot of the players there and a lot of the former players there, a lot of emotions hit them once they were there in that town, in that building yesterday before the Cardinals and Giants played.
Yeah, I can't speak for those folks, but it was clear that it was very important for that recognition, and it here around Juneteenth, and also tying in with what Major League Baseball's done with statistics and the Negro Leagues. It's made this season, it's put special punctuation marks on this season, and what it's meant to those guys is really important. It was great to see Mason Wynn really embrace the opportunity. Victor Scott got to get into the game. That's something I know that he'll always remember. And it helped remind me of how appreciative I was of having a relationship with Buck O'Neill and the things I learned from him one-on-one, along with what, we all learned from Buck just from hearing a multitude of interviews, going to the Negro League Museum in Kansas City that he spearheaded, and all the things that go along with that. It helped emphasize how important those things were.
Yeah, and I listening to the stories pregame and listening to the words of Reggie Jackson yesterday, who
really
did not hold back.
No.
And on Fox, I mean, they had to bleep out words that he was using when they posted it on social media, but live it went through. And I would guess that a lot of people listening to that it meant a lot to would say good that it was, wasn't bleeped
that
out.
Heartfelt.
And yeah, that you heard the words that were used to him and said to him. And I know as I watched it a few hours later, and my son was around and he was listening to him say, talk about it, and kind of was asking what it was, what it meant, and trying to explain to a 11-year-old that, hey, back 50 years ago, these guys weren't, they weren't allowed to join their teams in restaurants, and there were people that said no to it, and just, how much the game has changed and how much the world has changed in some aspects. You got that raw emotion last night. And then you also had the lighter side of things when Derek Jeter asked Barry Bonds what he would do against Satchel Paige if he stepped into the batter's box, and Barry Bonds was like, yeah, home run. It would have been gone. And to have a time machine and to get some of those matchups like Barry Bonds against a Satchel Paige or a Bob Gibson are things that we could only dream about.
Yeah, or Josh Gibson against Roger Clemens, or all those things. And those are the things that we always think about. And it's one of the reasons numbers in baseball are so important. It's the only thing that can give you some sort of real touchstone to trying to compare eras and players and all those kinds of things. You can start there and then expand your opinions and try and figure it out from there. But it's why the numbers are so meaningful in the game.
The Cardinals did win the game last night, 6-5. Andre Palante goes into the sixth inning, allows all five of those runs on 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 5, and then once again, I mean, how many times have we said it? Hands it off to the bullpen, and the bullpen is rock solid, allowing 0 runs over their 2 2/3 innings of work. Andrew Kittredge comes on. John King, Adam Kloffenstein makes his major league debut, and then Ryan Helsley picks up his 25th save. In a row. Adam Kloffenstein, I don't know if you saw the quote. I believe it was Katie Wu that tweeted it out yesterday. Due to the stadium, the way it was, and kind of where the bullpens were put away, apparently Adam Kloffenstein had no idea he was pitching in the 8th inning. He said that he didn't know where scoreboards were, didn't know where he was just told, hey, you're coming into the game, and he came in and he pitched, and then he kind of looked up afterwards and saw that Helsley was coming in, and I just pitched the 8th. I just got the hold in the 8th inning tonight. Okay. So they bring him in for his major league debut and put him in a very high leverage situation.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine just being in a field that you've never pitched in before, making your debut would be enough, knowing it's nationally televised. But yeah, he just went out there and got his 3 outs, and that was it. But Ryan Helsley again got into a little bit of trouble, walked 1, gave up a hit, but at the end struck out 2, and to get his 25th save, league leading 25th save, and as you mentioned, 25th save in a row. So
he's doing a good job.
He is. Cardinals have the day off today, Rammer. They are back at it at Busch tomorrow night, or tomorrow after, I should say Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday afternoon. Jordan Hicks is going to get the start on Saturday. 4-3 on the year as a full-time starter now, and has been really, really good as a starter. A 2.82 ERA, 68 walks to 28, or the 68 strikeouts to 28 walks. Something clicked when he got in that Giants organization. Whoever the pitching instructors are within that organization got their hands on him and have molded him into a really nice starter for the team.
He's had 1 or 2 bad hiccups, and that shows you how good he's been otherwise. To have a couple of bad games and still have an ERA under 3, it shows you when he's on, he's been lights out.
Has not gone that deep lately. No. Since the start of May, has only pitched into the 6th inning 1 time.
Yeah.
So he's still
a modern starter.
Yeah, so what he is, I mean, when the Cardinals attempted to make him a starter, when he wanted to be a starter for the Cardinals, the issue was the amount of pitches that he racked up in a short period of time,
right?
And seen over and over again, 5, 4 2/3, 3 2/3, 5 1/3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. When you see that, he's throwing about 20 pitches an inning, if not more, and he's getting himself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but
not allowing runs.
Like I said, he's a modern pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a 5-inning guy. And so long as you know that and can plan for it as a manager, as a pitching coach, you can work with it so long as you don't have a whole staff of 5-inning guys.
Right. Major League, or at least Major League Baseball right now has it listed as Sonny Gray starting for the Cardinals on Sunday, and it looks like I'm seeing Jordan Hicks listed on Saturday and Sunday. But if you look elsewhere, Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants on Sunday. So Logan Webb versus Sonny Gray should be a good pitching matchup Sunday afternoon as well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have much to add to that. Nope. It's just that the Cardinals need to, despite the runs they scored, they just can't seem to get those cushion games to give the best part of your bullpen relief. We talk about it every day. Having said that, there's 3 or 4 guys in the lineup that are starting to hit like you expected, and it still falls on to Goldschmidt and Arenado. They're the guys that must pick it up, and I'll admit, we were all loving it when Gorman had that hot streak for a couple of weeks. But his lack of productivity, but more importantly, the amount of strikeouts that are mounting is, I think, really concerning.
Lost you there for a second at the very end, but Cardinals and Giants this weekend, Saturday and Sunday down at Busch. No game tonight. Cardinals are off tonight. Plenty of other baseball will be played this evening, though. Cubs and Mets start things off in a few hours at Wrigley Field, and looking around some of the other matchups throughout baseball, Braves and Yankees, the marquee matchup of the weekend that taking place.
The Yankees have been running a gauntlet, haven't they?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Boston, Baltimore, Atlanta. This is a tough stretch.
Didn't they have the Dodgers there a few weeks ago too?
I believe you're right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So they have had a nice
surviving
run as of late. And then the other one, as I look through some of the other matchups around baseball this weekend, the Royals, who continue to be good, 8 games over 500, taking on the Rangers down in Arlington. Rangers still struggling to get to that 500 mark, 6 games below. And I think, it's one of those teams where you're just kind of waiting for them to get hot, waiting for them to get healthy, waiting for them to get hot. And it's one of the many teams in all of Major League Baseball that's just hovering around that 500 mark, where we talked about it last week. You're waiting for this. You're waiting for a few teams to just break out and break away and go on a nice streak and kind of solidify themselves as playoff teams.
Yeah, a couple of them will. We just don't know who.
Until then, we will see you again on Monday for Cardinals coming up next week. Cardinals Braves, I believe, come into town next week. So hopefully the Yankees beat them up real nice and send them to St. Louis all wounded for the next series.
And a chance to look at the guy who will most likely be the number 2 MVP guy in Marcell Ozuna.
Who you got as number 1?
Ohtani.
Okay. Just
Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, as a pure DH, when he's not pitching,
well, they both are.
I know
there's
a lot of baseball left right now for somebody else to come and take that from.
We'll make your picks then, and we'll compare.
Who do you have in the American League? Who's your American League guy then?
I haven't given it one whit of thought.
Judge, Soto. I mean, the one guy to watch right now. But we're talking rest going around the league and looking at other players, other matchups this weekend. If you have a chance tonight, if you're just looking for a game to watch, if you're looking for something to check in on tonight, check out the Cleveland Guardians.
They're so good.
Yes. Not only are they good, not only are they 20 games over 500, but something that has completely gone under the radar up until this point. Stephen Kwan hitting
He's almost
397, hitting 397 here almost at the end of June. Talked about at all.
But he hadn't played full time.
Right.
But the numbers are the numbers.
Yes. He's still hitting and getting on base a whole lot here at the end of June. So
off the top of my head, you got Judge, Soto, Witt, Gunnar. Who am I leaving out? Anybody west?
Those would be the ones I would say. I would say even, I would say those four for sure right now would be your American League guys. Gunnar Henderson has cooled off a little bit. When they came into town, Gunnar Henderson was your runaway, I think, for the AL MVP. The others have caught up.
Yeah. So what do? You start, to me, I look at the best players on the best teams and who makes them go. And so he's in the conversation.
Right. All right, Rammer, we will wrap up today's show, brought to you, as always, by Munganast St. Louis Acura and also Royal Banks.
Royal Banks, for better service means better banking. St. Louis, the East Side, St. Charles County, Northeast Missouri, each and every branch feels like your hometown bank. Royal Banks, 314-212-1500, equal opportunity lender.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. Talk to you on Monday here on Daily Cards Live.
Munganast St. Louis Acura is making room for the 2025 MDX, so that means great deals for you on the 2024 MDX. We have over 100 2024 MDX models in stock, and you get financing as low as 3.9% for up to 60 months. Or you can lease a new MDX for just $559 per month for 36 months. Or get the MDX technology model for just $589 per month for 36 months. Munganast St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.